Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Larson.
And it's time once again to look deep into the history of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Today, we are going to react to Dave Meltzer's star ratings for Survivor Series 1997. What is significant about that particular Survivor Series, Larson?
I mean, it was the Gang Rules pay-per-view. That's what I remember.
Yeah, that's the most memorable thing
I don't
about it.
remember anything
Let me
else
ask you
about it.
something. Did you watch any of this?
I've seen
Back?
Survivor Series 97 before. I don't have to watch it again.
All right, all right, all right. Well, listen,
Here's the thing. You could do all the research you want. I ain't doing any. Let's see how this works out for me. Probably bad.
all right. Well, it sounds like you know what you're getting into. So let's go ahead and get into it, Larson. Of course, this is the Montreal Screwjob edition of the Survivor Series. Man, oh man, I was talking to you about this before we started rolling cameras. Dave Meltzer did the most extensive write-up of the Montreal Screwjob and everything that happened preceding it. And then he drops like 20 more entries about other screw jobs from wrestling past going back to 1911. If this isn't evidence, indication that those other guys, Dave Meltzer is the gold standard in wrestling history, I don't know what is. We've always maintained we like to have fun with the star ratings here, but man, oh man, the newsletter really is a treasure trove of fun information and facts. It's just you got to dig through it in order to get to the good stuff. So anyways, the first match on this particular card was, of course, the New Age Outlaws.
Oh, you didn't know?
That's the one. The Godwins teamed up with the New Age Outlaws, of course, gang rules, versus the Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher, and the new Blackjacks. That's, of course, Blackjack Wyndham and
Yep.
Blackjack Bradshaw.
JBL, yeah.
That's right. Barry Windham and JBL. That's right. Do you know Barry Windham's middle name?
Jack.
It's Clinton.
Wow.
Anyways, this is what Dave has to say about this match. Description. Bradshaw pinned Henry Godwin in 3 minutes and 58 seconds with an abdominal stretch, dropped onto a lateral guillotine. Phineas Godwin pinned Wyndham in 5 minutes and 16 seconds after a clothesline. Wyndham looked really bad in this match. Gunn pinned Mosh in 8 minutes and 43 seconds when he blocked a bulldog and stuffed him on his face. Thrasher pinned Phineas in 12:39 with a Thez press. Nice, a Thez press finish off the top rope. James pinned Bradshaw with 13:46 with a schoolboy. This left James and Gunn, who seemed to be getting a big push as the next challengers for the Legion of Doom, in with Thrasher. Thrasher had James pinned. However, James had already tagged Gunn behind Thrasher's back, and Gunn came off the top rope with the leg drop and scored the pin. Larson, there's exactly one sentence of description of editorializing here, and that's simply Barry Windham looked really bad in this match. Do you remember anything from this match?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, what did Dave Meltzer give this?
I mean, there was no praise apart from giving Barry Windham some shit. No
Yep.
criticism either. That tells me must be somewhere in the middle of the road. So somewhere between 2 and 2.5 stars.
Okay.
You said Wyndham didn't look good, so I'll say he went 2.25.
Okay. He in fact called this a dud.
Wow. Ooh. Oof.
This is the find out section of the of you not doing research. All right, let's pick it back up. This next one is a lengthier recap. Larson, the Truth Commission won an elimination match over DOA. Of course, Brian Adams, Brian and Ron.
Disciples of Apocalypse.
Yes, correct. Yes, Brian Adams and Brian and Ron and Don Harris. In 10 minutes. So here's what he says. The idea of this match seemed to be put Interrogator over by destroying everyone, similar to the successful booking at a Royal Rumble a few years ago that put Diesel into the upper echelon.
Oh, is that Kurgan?
Yeah, I think it was Kurgan. This was nowhere near as effective. Interrogator was billed as 7 feet, 388 pounds, but he looked really bad and didn't get heat, even though he's got somewhat campy facial expressions. First, he destroyed Chains with a side slam in a minute 18. In retribution, Skull pinned Jackal with Don Callis in 2:52 with a side slam. Jackal was the only normal-sized wrestler in the Sea of Giants, but he was in too briefly to get any kind of gauge as to his ability. Jackal talked on the mic doing color after being eliminated. 8-Ball, or what is Skull, he says, pinned Recon with a clothesline in 5:20. Sniper pinned Skull in 6:30 after a poorly executed bulldog after Interrogator gave Skull a love tap designed to be a killer blow. Interrogator pinned 8-Ball in 8:51 with a side slam. Crush pinned Sniper in 9:47 with a tilt-a-whirl slam, and 11 seconds later, Interrogator dropped Crush with a side slam to win the match. A worst match of the year candidate.
Oh, so this has to go minus then. If the previous one was a dud is like 0, right?
Man, I'm not trying to screw you over here, but I'll be honest with you. Within the context of the previous match, this don't make any sense. That should actually help you a little bit.
Yeah, because now you're saying it's a positive.
You make, any assumption you make is out the window, buddy. I'll just say that.
Now you're making me feel like it's a positive number.
But
are you here trying to get revenge?
No, I'm seriously, dude. Listen, this is a nightmare of a star rating system here that Dave has going already.
That's true.
I'm just gonna say that.
All right. Apparently, this match was garbage. I remember it not being very good. I'm gonna say I gave it a 1/4 of a star.
I mean, look, you were closer than what you were gonna be. He gave it a 1.5 stars.
How is a worst match of the year contender a 1.5 stars?
How is it the match before this was a dud, and yet he didn't say this was a worst match of the year contender?
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Did he get him switched? Did he make a mistake?
I mean, that's a possibility. Maybe. Seems like that might be the case. Maybe there is a correction the next week.
It's frustrating.
Anyways.
I'm already frustrated. Perhaps
Yeah,
I should have done some research.
I feel like that wouldn't have helped, to be honest with you.
No.
All right. Third match. Team Canada beat Team USA in 17 minutes and 47 seconds. God damn, that's a long-ass match.
Well, it was an elimination match. I mean, there's some good talent in that match. This maybe isn't that bad.
Doug Furnace. Goldust had FU painted on his face, but it actually stands for Forever Unchained and is not the more obvious reference. Oh, and not the more obvious reference. He means fuck you. The storyline portrayed Blackman as a fan and a martial artist, and his wrestling experience in Calgary was never mentioned on the broadcast. There was a big pop when Bulldog suplexed Vader. Of course, that was the aforementioned Leon White. Blackman got no heat for what he did because people didn't see him as a star, but he worked pretty well doing the martial arts gimmick. At 5:47, Blackman was counted out fighting Team Canada, doing the gimmick that his inexperience in pro wrestling rules led to his downfall.
Remember that.
A real pro wrestling fan probably would know that you can't be on the outside of the ring for more than 10 seconds.
Yeah. No, can't.
Vader pinned Neidhart in 7:42 with a splash. Vader then pinned LaFawn in 9:07 with a splash off the middle rope. The crowd was dead at this point in the match. LaFawn looked bad. Mero, who has negative charisma in his new character, tried a Mero salt on Furnace, but ended up landing on his shoulder, and it appeared Furnace was injured, although he worked the rest of the match. Furnace pinned Mero after reversing a sunset flip and holding the trunks for the pin in 12 minutes. Vader suplexed Furnace on his neck, but Furnace came back with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex on Vader and also hit a Frankensteiner. Vader, who had to totally carry the match for his team since Goldust was injured, was really huffing and puffing by this point, but did a good job. Goldust working the match with a hand broken in 3 places and obviously couldn't work, and they built a storyline around it. He would never tag in, and finally Vader slapped him, tagging him in. Before locking up, Goldust simply walked to the back to get counted out at 17 minutes, with the storyline being that not only did he walk out on his marriage, but also on his country. This left Vader with both Furnace and Smith. Vader pinned Furnace in 17:35 after a Vader bomb. While this was going on, Smith grabbed the ring bell and locked Vader with it and pinned him to win the match in 17 minutes and 47 seconds. Even though Team Canada beat Team USA in front of 20,000 fans in Montreal, the pop wasn't what you'd think.
Wow.
What did Dave Meltzer give this
No
match?
heat, he says.
No heat.
No, you
Vader
list
was
the
huffing
talent
and puffing.
You list the talent involved. You think, oh, this could be pretty decent, but then no heat. Phil LaFawn didn't look good.
Nope. Vader was huffing and puffing, but he did okay.
So this seems comparable to how he described the first match. He gave that a dud. The following match we said was the worst match of the year contender. He somehow gave a positive star rating.
I feel like, look, man, I don't mean to be like giving you hint
You're
after
saying
hint
this, and
here.
I feel like you're just trying to sabotage me.
I'm just gonna say this. It seems like the review is back on track. That dud you need to put out of your head.
All right.
I firmly believe that maybe you're right, and those
Switch the
first two
two
were
matches.
switched.
All right.
You got to put that out of your head.
I'm going to say he gave this one 1 3/4 stars.
You're getting closer and closer. He gave it 2.5.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Back on track here. This one, I think you might have a chance at getting close. Kane versus Mankind. Kane won in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. They turned the house lights off for this match, so Kane's gimmick is that he's wrestling in the dark, trying to get across the idea that it is in the bowels of hell. Mankind did an excellent job of carrying him by taking big bumps on the steps. Kane worked as a monster most of the way until the finish when he took one big bump. Mankind then pile drove him and put the claw on Paul Bearer. Kane got up and threw Mankind off the apron, taking the nasty plunge through a table. This table breaking was great the first time they did it on pay-per-view, but it's becoming a monthly thing now. Mankind came back using a double-arm DDT on the floor and did the hip-shattering elbow drop off the apron. He went to the top rope, but Kane got up and slammed him off the top rope onto the floor. Mankind got up and crawled into the ring and was given the tombstone pile driver for the pin. What rating did Dave Meltzer give this?
Wow. Seemed to give Mick Foley all the credit for carrying this match. You know, Kane's not exactly known as the best in-ring technician.
Back then he was.
I mean, he was athletically, he was all right. It was just
he could hang.
Yeah. It wasn't like he was bad, but he's not going to elevate anybody to a great match. Is my point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's a good assessment there.
You know, he wasn't as critical of this one as he was the last one, though. And the last one he gave 2.5 stars. So it makes me feel like this is probably going to be higher. I'll say he gave it 3.
You're on the board. Yeah. That was a tough road to come back from. I'll tell you what. Don't envy you on that one. Oh, my God. This next one is this is a lengthy-ass write-up. All right, 5th match. Ken Shamrock.
Give me the Cliff Notes.
All right. Ken Shamrock and Ahmed Johnson and Legion of Doom beat the Nation of Domination, Ron Simmons and Charles Wright and AC Connor and Dwayne Johnson in 20 minutes and 34 seconds. The purpose of this match was to get Shamrock over as one of the top echelon guys, and it seemed that goal was accomplished.
All right.
Shamrock and LOD got huge pops coming out. I can't figure out exactly why it is, but it's undeniable that there's something about Maivia that makes an excellent heel. He and Shamrock both did a great job in this match, which started out kind of weak, but ended up being fairly good. Maivia pinned Hawk in 2 minutes 15 seconds after an Uranagi suplex, after Kama had kicked Hawk. It really is something to see Hawk be positioned as such a fall guy after the 80s when he was this invincible Superman. Johnson pinned Farouk in 4:39 after the Pearl River plunge. Farouk stayed at ringside, ended up tripping Johnson and holding his feet from outside while Maivia pinned him in 6:19. Johnson and Farouk brawled to the back, but the brawl looked bad because Johnson didn't appear to be trying very hard to actually catch him, and when he did, they seemed to more like waltz to the back than brawl. The crowd died with Animal versus Kama. Animal ended up drop-kicking Kama into Rocky, who was standing on the apron, and Animal got the pin on Kama in 10:53. This left Shamrock and Animal versus Maivia and Brown. Brown is the steadiest worker in the Nation of Domination, but has no credibility with the fans. They were doing a pretty good job, aside from the spot where Brown missed a moonsault by about 4 feet on Shamrock. Gunn and James came out, with James wearing the LOD spike shoulder pads that they stole on Raw. Animal jumped out to fight with both of them and Gunn threw powder in Animal's eyes, leading to the countout in 15:22. This left Shamrock against both. Shamrock pinned Brown with a belly-to-belly. Teasing the finish of the Team Canada versus Team USA match, Maivia immediately hit Shamrock from behind with a chair, but Shamrock kicked out of the pin. He delivered an incredible-looking groin shot for a near fall and a float-over DDT for another near fall. Shamrock blocked a second float over and turned it into a Northern Lights suplex, then hit a Frankensteiner and got the tap out with the ankle lock. During the commentary, Jim Ross on several occasions was really trying to position Shamrock up to the next level, even hinting that he could be the top star in the promotion at some point. Of course, that never happened.
Nope.
That's my editorializing there. What did Dave Meltzer give this match?
So it sounds like it started off pretty good. Crowd was into it.
Mm-hmm.
A lull.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe the crowd got back into it for the finish when it was Shamrock versus The Rock and D'Lo. So we gave the last one 3 stars, right?
Correct.
This match was really long.
It was very long.
So I don't know if he's going to go 3 stars. I'll say it went 2 3/4.
Excellent. 2 in a row. Good job. Good job. All right. Let's move on. Oh, man. Match number 6, next match. Steve Austin, Steve Williams, won the Intercontinental Championship from Owen Hart in 4 minutes and 4 seconds. This match was short, without a lot of bump taken since Austin's neck is injured to the point he really shouldn't be working. And this was Hart's first match back after the concussion, and he really wasn't ready to work either. For television, Hart was positioned as the total heel, and even in Montreal, Austin's persona is so strong that the fans seemed like they wanted to cheer him. Neidhart tried to jump Austin, but got a stunner for his trouble, giving Hart the early advantage. Fans were chanting, "Break his neck," to Owen. They teased a piledriver spot, but of course Austin backdropped his way out of it. Hart smashed Austin's knee on the post a few times, but Austin came back using his leg strength to post Hart. Hart began choking Austin with a mic cord, but told the ref to DQ him, but the ref did not. Hart then rang the bell himself to signal a DQ, but of course that wasn't the case either. Out of nowhere, Austin hit the stunner for the pin. After the match, Austin gave stunners to both Furness and LaFawn as well. What star rating did Dave Meltzer, that mealy mouse son of a bitch, give this match?
Remember, this match isn't even much of a match. It's almost like a Stone Cold squash. It's like 4 minutes of Stone Cold beating the hell out of Owen. He gets a little bit of offense in, but not much.
Yeah, 4 minutes is not a lot.
What?
4 minutes is not a lot.
No,
what?
It's not. So I don't think it's going to be as high as the last 2 matches. Let's say he went 2.5.
He went 1 single star, you dumb son of a bitch.
What?
1 star, 1 dish press.
I was on a roll there.
You were doing well.
Yeah, came
This
doing
is a weird ass review.
Main event time, huh?
Time for the main event. Oh, this is not that long of a write-up here. Because he spent like a whole book length writing this up in the first place. All right, man, here we go. Shawn Michaels won the WWF title from Bret Hart in 12 minutes and 11 seconds. As far as people worrying what would go on in the ring between the two, there was nothing but total cooperation. Michaels wiped his butt, blew his nose, and picked his nose with the Canadian flag. The two ended up brawling, both in the stands and around ringside, for 7 minutes and 22 seconds before the match ever started. They brawled into the stands, and Michaels had so much heat, it appeared fans were wanting to attack him themselves. The flag stuff literally had fans wanting to jump the rails after him. The heat Michaels had is incredible. It's like what we're all told Buddy Rogers had in his day. At one point, Michaels punched Pat Patterson. At another point, Hart and Vince McMahon, who watched the match from close range rather than broadcast the show, had words as they were brawling in the aisle. Michaels knocked down ref Tim White. Michaels took a header over a barricade near the dressing room door. Hart punched ref Jack Doan. Then the match started. They had a very good match, and it probably would have been an excellent match had they gotten to work all the way to their own planned finish. Really? The fucking brawl? Okay. Michaels dropped Hart's face on the steps, then broke the Canadian flag and attacked him with a flagpole to the throat. Hart did the figure 4 around the post. there was a small chant of Bret sold out. He put on the figure 4 in the middle, but Michaels reversed it, and Hart got to the ropes. Hart got a few near falls before the referee bump with Earl Hebner, leading to what no doubt will go down in wrestling history behind the scenes as one of the most famous finishes ever. What did Dave Meltzer give this match?
All right, he said what there was good.
It was good. I said very
heat.
good.
He likes heat.
Oh, Buddy Rogers heat.
Buddy Rogers heat. This was
to clarify, he said they had a very good match, and it probably would have been excellent.
so very good is usually between 3.5 and 4 stars, right? This is an era of WWE where I don't think Dave got close to 4 stars in his ratings very often. And given the nature of the finish, I don't think he's going to go as high as 4 stars here. So the question is it going to be 3.5 or is it going to be 3 3/4? He likes Bret. He likes Shawn.
Buddy Rogers heat.
Buddy Rogers heat. I'll go 3 3/4.
Bang! Nailed it. Well done. Well done. Ring the bell. WCW.
Yeah.
Good job, man. 3 out of 7, dude.
This should not be seen as an endorsement of not doing research, however.
Started off very rocky with that. I think that dud would have thrown you off. I think if you did research, it probably would have thrown you off.
Yeah, the dud was a curveball.
It was a total curveball. Absolutely, yeah. Also in the newsletter, Ernesto Hoost captured the K1 Grand Prix tournament before a sellout 54,000 fans at the Tokyo Dome. So
wow,
there you go.
It's a good crowd.
Good job, Ernesto Hoost.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So what do you guys think about Dave Meltzer's star ratings for Survivor Series 97, a.k.a. Gang Rules? Let us know in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe button, notify bell. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.